Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have a very cute sign, perfect for the plant lover. You could use any stencil for this piece, of course, and just simply use the basic design of the overall piece to create any theme piece you like with a stencil of your choice. I enjoyed so much creating this one. Welcome to all visiting my channel today. If you are not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And as well, please give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content, I generally upload 2 videos weekly, so please remember to set the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I upload a video. Okay, let me show you how I created this very cute sign. I purchased this silk screen stencil on Amazon. And as you can see, it's perfect for the plant-aholic, which I happen to be one. But this is perfect for a gift for a friend as well. And you can see here that the stencil has different pattern, everything from lettering to little pots with some flowers in them. So you can use multiple colors for this stencil and for this sign. I have here a 14-inch wood round that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. Every other week, the wood department items are 40% off. And this came in a package of 3. It's a very sturdy wood round of a nice sturdy thickness. And I have here some Snow White Waverly chalk paint. You could use a white acrylic paint as well. Use whatever you prefer. And I have a paintbrush, of course, some scissors, and paper to place down to paint and do my stenciling. I have there a couple of different types of ribbon. And here I purchased a set of these acrylic pastes to use for silk screen stencils quite a while ago. But I purchased them on Amazon, as I recall. And it was a multicolor set, and it came with the little spatulas, a very narrow, small spatula with a handle, as well as some other spatulas I'll show you here in a bit. I have some other colors on hand as well, just in a regular acrylic paint, simply because on that stencil there's some little, very tiny flowers. And I also wanted the pots on the stencil to be of a color that I didn't have in an acrylic paste. Here's those spatulas in the set that I bought. I believe there was 6 colors in this set and a couple of different shapes and sizes of spatulas. And then this one little spatula for tiny detail with a handle, which I really appreciated that one for this piece. I have here a pipe cleaner to create my bow. And I have this ribbon, which is amazing ribbon. I got this ribbon on craftoutlet.com. And it's a beautiful green color. And it's wired throughout. And I'll talk about that in a moment. This ribbon, I'm sure I got this one on Amazon. In a set that I got, there was another ribbon with it, a pretty yellow flowered ribbon that I used on another piece, but you could use a combination of any ribbons that suits your preference and decor. I had my ladybugs and bumblebees out. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it due to the nature of this piece. I ended up not using them, but I had them on hand. And it actually would have been cute to put them on there, but I didn't. I have my glue gun there. Of course, I showed you that. And I have a couple of different types of greenery. My favorites from Hobby Lobby. And the greenery is on sale every other week at 40% off. I have 2 different types of greenery. One is a very fine fern type greenery. The other one is a little bit more leafy, almost with the look of like a boxwood, a small boxwood. And I have my favorite white flower there, and some other flowers that I thought about using for color, but I ended up using just the white one. And again, the florals, 40% off every other week. And this piece was relatively inexpensive to create. I always plan out the purchase of my items for my projects by the sales at Hobby Lobby, because it's really worth it to go there and get your items for your crafting when it's 40% off. Now I have this beautiful 14-inch wood round that I got at Hobby Lobby, as I mentioned. And these are very nice wood rounds, very sturdy. They're very straight, if you know what I mean by that. No bowing, as you sometimes get that with items from the Dollar Tree. You always have to be careful about that. But, of course, you want it to lay flat on your surface. So I painted mine with Snow White Waverly chalk paint. I believe it only required one layer of paint. And I have here this green ribbon that is so amazing. I've never seen a ribbon quite like this, but it is wired throughout. So you can bend it in any way, and the wires seem to go right through the ribbon, so it's so compliant. Anything you do with it, it stays. It's like amazing ribbon. But I love the green, of course, for the plant theme. So I'm going to create small bows for this piece to put at the top. So I left a short tail, I want to say about 6 inches. And I'm just going to fold over my loops, and I believe my loops were around 9 inches. I fold it over, pinch it in the center, fold over another loop of the same length, pinch that in the center, grab it with my fingers there. I'm going to create a 4-loop bow, or 2 loops on each side. Fold it over, pinch it in the center. Oh, this ribbon was amazing. And I know I said that, but I wish many ribbons came like this. Oh my goodness. It's I don't even know how in the world this ribbon was constructed, because it seems that the wires are throughout the entire ribbon, throughout that netted ribbon. And it's amazing. I just loved working with it. So anyway, I'm going on about the ribbon, but it's amazing. And it was like the same cost as other ribbons on craftoutlet.com. I love craftoutlet.com ribbon. And this is 2.5 inch. And I'm just going to wrap a pipe cleaner around there, because now I've completed my 4 loops, 2 on each side. Twist that in the back. And now all of those loops are secure. Now I'm also going to create another small bow to go on top of this. So I'm using a mixed ribbon bow. And I'm going to add a yellow ribbon, a golden yellow ribbon, for the top tier of this bow, just to add some color to the piece. And that's, as I mentioned, going to go right at the top. And I'll show you when I'm ready to put the bow on how I apply that. You can, if you prefer to attach your bow through the sign, at the very top of the sign, you can just drill 2 very small holes at the top and just feed your pipe cleaner through there, and then twist it in the back, or you can simply glue it on. That works just as well. And if you're concerned about it being outside, just use a little hot glue as well as some tacky, and just glue it at the top. But again, the drilling the holes is optional. You know, if you prefer to do that, that's an option for this piece. So now I'm going to create another 4-loop bow. And these loops are going to be a little bit smaller. I want to say around 8 inches. And I'm going to create that layer of the bow just the same as I did the base layer. Folding my loops over, making sure that they're symmetrical or the same size on each side. And then this bow is going to simply be placed on the top of that green bow. And this is going to add a very nice pop of color to the top of your sign. It also is going to coordinate with the green paint that I'm using on my stencil. So I just bring my pipe cleaner around, twist it in the back. Now I'm going to create one single loop going right down the center of that bow. So I just simply roll that ribbon under and then slip it under my thumb as I just did there. Show you again. Roll it under, slip my thumb over to secure that loop right there in the center. And then I just take my pipe cleaner from around the back, poke it through the center, as you see there. Grab it on the other side, pull it around nice and tight, twist it. And then I don't cut off those pipe cleaners because I just take those pipe cleaners and wrap them around the green ribbon, and that's how I secure them together. So I'm just simply cutting off my ribbon from the spool. Now I'm going to take that tail on top, poke it, sorry, I'm almost out of frame there, poke it right through the center loop. If you would like to see a detailed tutorial on how I do a mixed ribbon bow, I have multiple tutorials in my playlist if you want to check that out. And I take it nice and slow and show you how I make bows. I'm just shaping my loops. This is a nice wired ribbon. This ribbon as well is 2.5 inches. I think they have a ribbon that's similar on craftoutlet.com if you wanted to purchase the ribbons from one source. But I'm sure I used this on another wreath, and I got it on Amazon, I'm positive. So now I'm just placing the two bows together. I just place it on top, wrap it around the back, and twist those pipe cleaners, and now those two bows will be secure together. Now, if you're feeding your pipe cleaner tails through two drilled holes, if you want to do it that way, if you do the drilled holes, be sure you put them right at the top, near the edge. That, of course, safely that you could drill holes without splintering the sides. But if you want to do it that way, just keep your pipe cleaner tails on and then just feed them through and twist it on the back. If you're going to glue it on, you could just go ahead and snip off the tails like I just did. I did glue mine on. Tacky glue and hot glue are going to hold this on your piece. Now, it's likely that this piece will be outside, maybe on a patio or a porch, or maybe a kitchen inside. That's up to you. But that glue will hold very well. I always use Gorilla Hot Glue, and for me, that's worked very, very well. There was a time years ago when I didn't use it, and I did have problems with things falling off of my wreaths if I just used hot glue alone. But I find that the Gorilla Hot Glue is amazing. So, up to you what you want to use. Okay, now I have my silk screen stencil, and this is the first time I've ever used a silkscreen stencil. So bear with me here. This is my first time, but I believe I'm doing it correctly. I'm sure you will correct me if I haven't. That's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with suggestions and criticisms. Actually, I'm good with that. We can all learn from each other, right? Okay, so I am just took my spatula and I'm basically smearing on this acrylic paint paste. It's a thick paste. I want to say maybe a little thicker than like pudding. I actually loved doing this. As I mentioned, my first time, and I just love trying something new. It was a fun experience trying this for the first time. And I know I'm definitely going to use silk stencils again in the future because I really love this. So I did all of my letters in black. And then for the pots, I did those separately with an acrylic because I didn't have a color in the set of acrylic paste that I bought that would have been suitable for the pots. So I decided to just try and do those with an acrylic, and that worked very well. Okay, so now I'm taking my little spatula. It has a nice straight flat edge, and I just used the green pasty acrylic paint that I got, and I went over all the areas with the plants. And this worked so well and so beautifully. So I was really happy with the process. Now I do have one pot on there that has little flowers, and I did do those separately so that I could have the color flowers that I wanted. So I went ahead, did all of that, and then I did the pots the same as I did the other areas with the little spatula, because obviously those were small areas, so I had to use that little spatula. Now, as you can see, I had to do a little bit of touch-up. And again, my first time doing this, so not sure. Maybe I didn't put quite enough paste on there, but let me tell you, easy as can be to touch up any stencil. And I did that with a very fine point brush, and I just touched everything up, and I was so pleased with the outcome. Now, I decided this sign really is going to need something. So I decided polka dots was the answer, and I just love polka dots. So I used a spouncer, and I actually used 2 different size polka dots. For my green, I'm placing that on now. Now, when I do polka dots, I'm not really going for the perfect polka dot. I like my polka dots to be a little bit, what word can I use? Not entirely filled in, but just almost like more than a hint of a polka dot. Okay, I'm not sure how to say this, but I'm trying to get my point across. It doesn't have to be all filled in. I really love the look of that when it's not a perfect edge or a perfect polka dot. I hope that makes sense. Now notice when I do my polka dots that I'm placing them, some of them off the edge, and then some of them just fully, of course, rounded on the inner part of the sign. Now I'm going to go around the perimeter of that sign, and I'm going to place my green polka dots. Then I'm going to go in and place some yellow. So I'm keeping in mind as I place my polka dots that I need to leave room for my yellow polka dots. And I think this was just the great finishing touch for this piece. Now I'm using that golden yellow to go. It's not a perfect match to the ribbon, but it's close and it's compatible and it's very pretty. So now I'm going around my piece and now I'm adding my yellow flowers. Now you do you. Depending upon what stencil you use, you could even make half of your sign one color and half of your sign another. There's just a million options. Well, maybe not a million, but there's a lot of options to creating a sign. So you do you. Depends on what stencil you use. But for this particular one, you're only going to have room around the the perimeter of the sign to place some type of added embellishment. And for me, it was the polka dots. And I absolutely love the way this turned out. And again, doing my my polka dots, and I just, notice how I take my spouncer and I just kind of wiggle it. That helps me to fill in the outer edges of my polka dot. But again, I'm not going for the perfectly filled in polka dot. I love that kind of sparse paint look on the polka dots, but I do try to get the outline of the polka dot. And here you have it here. Love this piece. And this was a quick and easy piece to do. And I have here some twine, green and white twine. I doubled it up, put 2 knots on each end, and I'm going to make sure I have the exact center point of my sign, because now my stencil is already on there, so I have to make sure that this hangs straight. I marked that with my finger there, and I'm just going to place that twine piece on the wood round to use for a hanger. And I thought the green and white was a good choice for that. I'm just going to use hot glue. You could add some Aleene's tacky glue there, or whatever glue you prefer for an additional support. But I do put a couple of pieces of felt over this as well to hold it. Now this wood piece is very, very lightweight, so that will certainly be adequate to hold that sign. And again, if you're going to have this sign hanging outdoors and you have a very warm climate, you may want to use some Aleene's tacky glue as well. Making sure that I have it nice and centered there. And I have my 2 little pieces of felt that I'm using Aleene's tacky glue there. You could pick this up at the Dollar Tree or any craft store. I really love Aleene's tacky glue. It dries clear, and it's a very good tacky glue. It holds things very, very well in all the elements, so outdoor elements. So that's a great glue to have on hand for most any project. So now I have my hanger all applied. And then I'm going to go about placing my bows and some greenery and even a few little flowers on this piece. Now this piece would be great in many different colors. So you do you. If you want to do this like I did it. As far as the stencil, you could just go on Amazon and put in a search for silkscreen stencils, and you'll find it there. I'm in the process of setting up my affiliate store on Amazon, so I'll be able to link things for you. But for now, if you just do a search for silkscreen stencils, that's exactly how I found mine. And I'm going to be purchasing more of those silkscreen stencils. Wow, did I really love that. And I am a stenciling girl. I love to stencil. So I'm getting ready to stencil some stepping stones for outside. So I'm always stenciling something. I just love a good stencil. Okay, so I'm putting my bow down now. I used hot glue initially to get the placement. Now be careful that you're not covering up your wording on your sign. Sorry, my hand's a little out of frame there. But I'm just gluing it on, making sure it's stuck on there. Sorry about that. Sometimes you lose sight of you get so involved in something on the project, and I lose sight of the fact that my hand just went out of frame. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have my bow on, and I'm going to make sure for the tails of my bow that I place them on the piece. I even glued down the tails because I want to be sure that they don't fall down over the wording, because that's the point of the sign, right? To be able to read the wording. So I'm just going to be sure that I have the tails of my bow all placed, and I do shape my tails, and I kind of curl up the tips, and I do angle the ends of my ribbons. And then I take the very tips of the angle and kind of just turn them up and just shape the tails of my bow the way I want it. And this is coming together so beautifully. Everything matches beautifully and coordinates very well. Now, again, you may not want to use this particular wording on this particular stencil. You could create a stencil of any type of a theme that you like and just use the basic principles of creating the sign. I love it. So pretty. The acrylic paints that I use for my polka dots, I didn't mention that. I only used a little bit of acrylic paint, but I love the Hobby Lobby brand that they have. The acrylic paints, they're very creamy and smooth. I just love their paints. Trying to recall the name of them. Let me check that. Okay, they're called Crafter's Collection, and I love those acrylic paints. So now that I have my tails all prepared, and there's that fabulous green ribbon that is just, again, so amazing. You have to pick up this ribbon. I'm going to be using this as well. I'm doing a summer wreath coming up. Pineapple theme. It's going to be so pretty. So anyway, here we are, back to our sign. And I'm just kind of fussing with the tails because, again, I want to be sure that they don't cover up the lettering. And then next, I'm going to be placing just a little bit of greenery on each side of my bow. And I'm going to use both types of greenery just for visual interest. And here I am cutting off in an angle my tails, again, making sure that I have the best length, and I'm just kind of curling them up there. Now I'm going to place my greenery, and by just placing it, sticking it underneath the bow and attaching it right to the sign. Because I don't want my greenery to be falling off, so I'm using Gorilla Glue and making sure that I have it very well attached. And you can use a bit of tacky as well, if you like. And there we have the bow all in place. Now I have there that it's a very fine leafy type of greenery. Oh, love, love it. And that's the other greenery that I said. It reminds me of boxwood, only it's a little more, a little finer in the leaves, a little bit thinner in the leaves, if you will. So now I'm just sticking my greenery in, seeing where I want it. And once the greenery goes on here, wow, that really adds a great touch to this sign. So I placed 2 pieces on each side, one of each variety, and I placed one on the top over the bow. Now I have my little white flowers. I'm not sure what variety of flower this is, but if you follow my channel, you've seen me use these again and again. Absolutely love them. They're so authentic looking, so beautiful to a real flower. And I'm showing you there, I used a little bit of tacky glue, and I just glued everything on. Here we have that silkscreen stencil. You can see the polka dots there, the sparse look that I was referring to. The beautiful bows with the greenery. I love this piece. And I hope you do as well. Remember to subscribe if you're not currently a subscriber. Give this video a thumbs up if you would. It really helps my channel. And as well, if you would share this video and my channel with a friend or relative, that really helps my channel as well, and I appreciate that. Okay, until next time, you all take care.